Hello, my friends. I seem to be doing everything in my power to show you I'm not perfect, don't I? For those of you who don't know what happened, I started this video and realized the microphone was not on and had to start over. So if you were trying to connect, I apologize, and let's get going. I also want to apologize for not being here Friday. I know we normally do these videos on Friday. I was sitting down to write the question and write out the answer from Phillip. And normally, by the way, if this is a private conversation between the two of us, I don't write out the answers for my coaching clients or for my reading clients. That's like we're having a conversation. But for those of you who, but for this particular venue, I do write out the answers. So I was sitting down to write out the answers and had just written down the question when the phone rang. And hello, Heather. Yes, I am back. And thank you. I'm glad that you can hear me. I'm glad I looked down and before I went too far and saw that the microphone wasn't turned on. So Heather, so good to see you with us on the live. Thank you for coming. Anyway, Friday, I was starting to write down the question and getting ready to write out the answer. And then I would perhaps have lunch and then make the video for the afternoon. And the phone rang. And normally I don't have the phones on. In fact, I even put the phones in another room when I'm writing out the answers. But I just hadn't quite started yet. I was just getting everything together. And as I sat down, I looked over and okay, there's the phones. I got to move the phones out of here. Thank you, Heather. And as I went to move the phones out, the one phone rang and it was a neighbor. She had been in a car accident. Judith, yes, thank you, Judith. So glad to be on, believe me. But my neighbor had been in a car accident and could I come get her? Hello, Anika, thank you for the flowers. Could I come get her perhaps? If she's being released, she didn't know, but mainly she called because her husband was in another hospital having surgery and it was outpatient surgery. Could I pick him up? By the time I called both hospitals and found out the condition of both people and when they would be released and all of that, time was passing quickly. And of course, both were released that day, but one hospital was 30-minute drive one way and the other one was an hour drive the other way. So by the time I got back home that evening, I was a little too tired to be able to do a service to the question. So I thought, okay, I'll try to get to it over the weekend. That didn't happen. So here I am. And it's so good to see all of you live. And I want to also say thank you to those of you who emailed me or saw me on Facebook and messaged me and said, are you okay? I'm okay. Daisy's okay. Everyone's okay. And my neighbors, thank God, are also okay. Although the accident did total my neighbor's new car. So, but she's fine. She's banged up, but she's okay. They even released her. And what an experience for me to go to one hospital, which is a rural community, and another, which is inner city, and experience the difference in the hospital experiences were totally different. And I found that itself very interesting. I also found the timing. Talk about divine right timing. It was perfect because just as I got home from picking up the husband, 10 minutes later, I got a call to come pick up the wife. And so I was concerned about the timing, called another neighbor for backup, but it all works out beautifully, doesn't it? And that's not exactly what we're talking about today, but what we are talking about is travel. And so whether it is kind of related and whether we're traveling in our bodies or we're traveling just in our spirits, we need to do that with divine timing. That's what I'm calling it, divine timing. Phillip doesn't use that phrase, but I am. So my travels Friday were in divine right order and divine timing. So here's our question for this week. And then as I did mention, and I think I mentioned it before the mic was on, so I'm not sure I got it this time. we will get a message from one of my books, The Master's Book of Answer by Phillip, which is, for those of you who aren't aware, just a book of wisdom, an oracle book. And you can, the way you use this book is really how we use it on this program. You can sit down and read each message. I don't know that that would have a lot of meaning for you. The way you use it is when you have a question, you open to a page, there's your answer. You may have to think about it, however. I like to get a message from Phillip every day, and I know a lot of you do that as well. And so when I'm sitting down and meditating and then journaling, I ask for a message, and it always helps me get through the day. So onward. Our question this week is it possible for the spirit to have more than one existence at the same time? For instance, can spirit exist in human form on Earth and also in another galaxy or planet simultaneously? And then the second question, which is related to this, which is why I have two questions this time, is can spirit guides assist with access to the Akashic Records? And Phillip says, and Wanda, thank you. Wanda says, so good to see you. And believe me, I don't like missing a Friday because I know some of you get concerned about that. And again, thank you for contacting me to make sure I was okay, and Daisy's okay, and Lily's okay, Lily Cat is okay, and so everything's fine except my neighbors are banged up. So sometimes we just have to put our human needs in first, don't we? Or time. But here we are today, and it's so good to see all of you. So forward with the answers. To the answer, is it possible for the spirit to have more than one existence at the same time? Phillip says yes, both the human and the person's spirit may be in multiple places at once. Let us look at how this can be and also explain why this needs to be explored with caution. I want to again thank you. I am so grateful for these questions because they're questions that I wouldn't necessarily think up myself, but they're also questions that when I write them out, I think, I didn't know that. Really? I learned so much from answering your questions. So thank you. Phillip goes on to say, let us begin with the caution. When opening up space-time travel, whether to another part of Earth or a distant galaxy, is not a game for those who are unaware. It is for the purpose of growth. Those who are advanced to the point of being prepared will travel naturally and safely once their instruction is complete. This instruction may come while in the dream times. The human consciousness may not be aware of the instruction or those who keep them safe during travel, or they may be fully aware. This depends on the individual and their soul's path as well as their human growth. Let us look at the travel, and then we will go into more detail of how to travel, whether to a different place on Earth, a different planet or galaxy, or to the Akashic Records. The most common form of travel does not carry the body, but only the energy. This comes as often in the non-dream time as it does during sleep. Here's where I really got, okay, Diana. Thinking of another with great emotion sends the energy to the other. This is not the form of travel most think about, and yet it is often the most powerful and always the most common. It must be remembered that all is energy. A thought is as real as your body, just with a different density. Notice that we said energy is sent with great emotion. We did not judge that emotion to be helpful or harmful. We ask you to be aware, however, of what energy you send to another. Remember, your energy, your spirit in energetic form, is traveling to another. What is it you wish to send? Another form of traveling is bifurcation. Cases have been documented of people being in more than one place physically at the same time. This takes place when the spirit's strength is strong enough to manifest in more than one physical place or non-physical place. Bifurcation can take place when asleep or awake. It often happens also during a traumatic death, such as one on a wartime battlefield. If we remember that time as humans know it exists only in this third dimension, it allows an order to take place as well as communication. And this is important, time keeps the human mind organized. When the self's human mind is aligned with the self's higher mind, time ceases to exist. And that's the self small s with the aligned with the self capital S higher mind. You can experience no time during meditation or deep prayer work. You also lose time when deeply engaged. When in a hurry, time may speed away from you. When waiting for someone or something, time goes slowly. As you see, time is a communication and organization tool. To open the human mind to non-time happens all the time. When I wrote that, I heard Phillip chuckling at his pun there. He was just laughing away at that. To open the human mind to non-time happens all the time. He does have a sense of humor, as well as being a strong teacher and taskmaster. Now, about that travel. Wherever you travel, you must do so with protection. Simply ask your guide, teacher, angels, or protectors in spirit world to watch over you and guide your travels. This can be a simple request or prayer before meditation or the night's sleep. When purposefully traveling to another dimension, another life experience, planet, or dimension, ask yourself why you wish to make this journey. If you wish to access the Akashic Records, ask yourself why, for example. If you say, for example, I wish to heal something, first ask yourself if you are to begin by traveling to yourself as a youth in this life experience. Too often, humans are unable to see the importance of the current life and so wish to explore other lives. Begin first with this life and then look beyond. Many on Earth are not from Earth, but are still having lives on Earth for the experience and also perhaps to help with the evolutionary shift. Visiting the home planet is quite common. This is for the purpose of gaining knowledge and also to regenerate. The same is true of visiting spirit world. Whether the energy of your body manifests in the place of travel is of little importance. Many travel with their body, many do not. This depends on multiple factors, so we will not discuss this now. My sense is, however, I know Phillip wasn't going into it because I think it's more complicated, but my sense is whether we travel with the body or just the energy and manifest the body in the other place we're visiting or don't manifest, it really depends upon our own spiritual development and our own abilities. And I felt that that wasn't something that needs to be discussed because most of us just aren't there. I'm not. But do I travel? Yes. In fact, this book is all, The Found Child, one of my books. This is all about traveling to other dimensions in spirit world, and it's told in the form of a story. So we travel into spirit world in multiple different places in this book, The Found Child. And yes, all my books are available on Amazon. Phillip goes on to say, what we wish to leave you with includes, and there are 5 things here he wants to tell us. Always have a destination and a purpose in mind. This may come consciously, or your higher self may take over your dream time journey. 2, if the destination you have in mind. If the former, prepare yourself with knowledge first. If the latter, where it just happens naturally in dream time, this will take you to the place naturally, so you are already prepared. So what he's saying is, if you decide, I want to visit my home planet, for example, if you feel your home, or I want to visit the center of the earth, or wherever you want to visit, if you make that conscious effort to do so, that intent, then do so with the intent of, with the knowledge and the teachers and whoever you need to study with, and make your intent very clear. And there's more to that coming up. But if you travel while you're sleeping naturally, or like while you're writing a book and not realizing you're even traveling to other dimensions, you're doing so naturally. And if you do so naturally, you're safe. That, I believe, is what he's saying. So 3, always ask for guidance and protection from those you work with in spirit world. So I wouldn't travel without saying, Phillip, be there with me, guide me, keep me safe. 4, you can gain knowledge and grow in traveling, just as you do in human traveling. However, as in human traveling, it is not a venture a child should do on their own or as a game. Preparation in the form of spiritual growth is required. 5, always do your best to stay in a place of love with a capital L. This is the most powerful force of protection and growth for you. Well, those are the 5 things that he's telling us that if we are going to travel, we need to pay attention to. Hello, Alicia, peace, empathy, love for all. And she says, hello all, I'm glad you're okay, Diana, and thanks for very much for doing these videos. My best doggie who passed away, his name was Lily, and my current one is Daisy. How cool. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, when we look at life, it is so magical. Here's magic right here. That you have a Daisy and you have a Lily, and I have a Daisy and I have a Lily, and here we are together. Thank you. I'm so glad to see all of you. You know, maybe I should start doing these a little bit later in the afternoon, if that helps you. I don't know. I try to do them on Fridays, but sometimes Fridays just isn't possible. So maybe there's another day of the week. If anybody cares to tell me, I can look at that. Or maybe there's a time. I try to go 1:30 to 2:30ish if there's a time that's better, because I love having you on live with me. Thank you all. Let's get our message, shall we? And we just flip through and see where our finger goes. Wow. We're going clear to the end of the book, and I'm hearing left. If you heard left, then you and I are just in sync. This is the general message for everyone. If you heard right, page, then that's a message that you need to pay attention to, because that's of meaning to you and something you need to listen to. All right, here's our left message. Life responds to you as you believe it will. Life responds to you as you believe it will. If we believe life is going to be really tough, guess what? It usually is. If I wake up in the morning and I'm going, oh, groan, moan, life is pretty much groan, moan throughout the day until I change my attitude. But I try to get up in the morning and I try to sing myself awake. It may even be singing silently, but I may sing, oh, what a beautiful morning, silently, or I may say, I'm awake and it's a great day, or whatever. And before I go to sleep at night, I do the same thing. And then, of course, I go into making the day as good as I can. If you heard right, here's your message. To think is to create. To think is to create. And of course, both of these messages really go along with our the answer to your question. It never ceases to amaze me that these messages always align with the answer that Phillip gave us to your question. And I thank you for the questions that you send. You can post them below. Hello, Heather. Thank you for sending love. You can post your questions below. You can email them to me. My email is just Diana Rankin 1111. It is posted below. So you're welcome to do that. And for those of you who are giving us a thumbs up, we thank you as well. I love your comments. I love hearing from you. And I'm so grateful that we were able to connect today. And thank you, Judith says. Thank you all. The monthly predictions for August will be out. I will get to that this week. I've got a pretty full schedule the next couple of days, but I'm still going to try to get to it. But before the week's over, I will get the monthly special out. And hopefully I will see you Friday. I will do my best. And Wanda Wander says, thank you. I'm struggling to stay in love, and your beautiful spirit helps me. Peace to all. And Erica says, thank you. Wanda, it is a struggle for me as well. And about the time that I think, okay, I know how to do this, something will just knock me off course, and I'll have to remind myself, love, love, love. This is not easy stuff we're doing. It's really not. And believe me, I am so far from perfect, and I am so far from getting it right. But every step we take, every time we bring ourselves back to love, that's what gives us joy, and that's what adds joy to the world. So thank you all. Be kind to yourselves. Be kind to others. Love yourselves. Go easy on yourselves. Remember, we're having a human experience, and that's not easy necessarily. So enjoy. And Alicia says, I really needed this today. Thank you. Blessings, love, and all. So thank you for the love you accept from me. Thank you for the love that you send to us here. Thank you for the love you send out to the world. And just a reminder, love is an action verb. So go smile at somebody today. I love you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for interacting. I'm so grateful for each of you. Until Friday, hopefully. Or, well, I'll see you before the Friday on the monthly August to see what we can expect for August. Bye for now, my dear friends. Thank you.